Hello everyone! So, today I'm going to teach you guys how to flip and pitch. So, flipping and pitching. Alright. Maybe you think, oh, I don't have a boat, so I don't need to flip and pitch. Well, you can also do it on the kayak. You can also do it on the bank. It comes in handy everywhere. It's to get into those tight spots, lay downs, holes and weeds. It's good for everything. So, but I'm going to show you how, and I have my wife here, and she doesn't really flip and pitch. So I'm going to teach her, show her how I learned, and how you can practice and get really good at it. So we're out here in a yard, and this is like where you need to be. Just go out to your yard and just practice like this.
And action.
Alright, first we're going to talk about rod, reel, line. Not a big deal, okay? I'm going to be honest. What I use is a 7'6" heavy rod. Line, I like straight fluorocarbon. I've flipped braid for a while. I used braid for a while with a fluorocarbon leader. Did all that stuff. The best to me for any situation, no matter what cover you're flipping, is always fluorocarbon. But reel, you want a faster gear ratio reel. And that's pretty much just for speed. Just kind of flip, do little pops, get it back in, flip again, a few pops, get it back in, you know, just because speed, you're constantly just moving around, hitting stuff. And then also, when they get into, like, you're flipping heavy cover, that fish can wrap you around sticks, they can wrap you around grass, they can do all that stuff to try to get away from your hook, try to get off the line. So a faster gear ratio reel is easier to make up that line, so to speak. I say stick with an 8-to-1. 8-to-1 seems to be the perfect gear ratio for doing this. But you can really do any gear ratio, that's fine. Don't go lower than 6. And so I stick with an 8-to-1. This is a Revo ALX. I'm not saying you have to have this one, whatever. Line capacity doesn't really matter too much because you're flipping and pitching. You're not casting a million miles out there. You're just doing little 50-foot pitches out there. I mean, that's good. But at the same time, make sure it's spooled up all the way. Once it gets lighter, it's a lot more difficult for that line to come out of that spool as easy. And it's the same with casting too. That's why when you're your full spool on your reel, you cast a lot further. It's easier for that line to go through that line, or through that spool, than if it's barely any line in there. So still keep it spooled up. So I do use a 7'6" heavy rod. 7'6" is a little long for me. I'm a shorter dude. Not very tall. 5'8", 5'9". What do you say? But no, seriously, I'm a shorter guy. 7'6" is a little long even for me, but I want that longer rod. So I would say no matter what you are, kind of go with the top end that you can handle. When, you know, you're doing this with your rod, the top end that you can handle. The longer rod's going to help with the whole deal. I mean, more rod, further out there, away from you. Less line that's got to get out of that spool and get out there. Like my wife, she was using a 6'6" because she's 4'1". So 5'1". So just enough length in the rod that you can handle. That sounds dirty, but that's pretty much all I could say. You don't need a big 8-foot flipping stick or whatever, or don't be scared to use a 7-footer. Like, it's whatever you're comfortable with. So, all right. So, like I said, we're in the backyard where you should be. Go to a field, go to a park, let people laugh at you. Whatever. Who cares? Just go out to a nice open grass area and do this. This is how you'll learn. So, alright. Just pick a spot. We're going to start. We're going to start right here. See my feet? Alright. And then there's a cup way down there. It's really not that far down there. But all I'm going to do is just step off 10 paces. First, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Boom. Alright. So, that gives you like 20 feet. It's a good place to start. Alright. Now what you're going to do is you are going to start flipping and pitching, trying to hit that cup. Alright. And this is mostly pitching. Flipping is kind of a silly technique that was done back in the 70s and 80s. No one really uses anymore. You don't need to use it. I don't really ever use it. I can. There's no reason. You should at least be 20 feet back from the cover you're fishing. Let's be honest. And flipping was more like 10 feet, 20 feet at the most. Like a real short little cover sort of thing. But if you get good at pitching, then you can make that bait land soft like you want to and hit your targets really easily. So, we're going to start with the 20 feet for now, and then I'll show you guys how to do it, just like I'm going to show my wife how to do it. Okay, your left hand is going to hold your bait, right? And where you want it. Now, people say to hold it at the rod. Okay. I like to actually go a little shorter, up towards like your line keeper. You know, just a couple inches shorter always seems to be a lot easier. So go ahead and grab the bait, and then alright, then you just kind of reel down your line here. You want it tight, but not like, you know, crazy tight where it's bending the rod. Just like this, you know, we got it tight, straight rod, straight to your hand. Okay. So you got that set up. There you go. That's perfect right there. Now, obviously flip your bail. And then you want this hand, like a trigger's good. Yeah. You're going to take this rod. You can see, she's already kind of knows. You tip it sideways. Put that rod down. Okay? Like this. It's not that. It's not like completely straight down. Okay? And keep that bait in your left hand. And then all it is it's just a flick of the wrist. And you just let go of that bait. Alright? Let go of that bait and let go of your thumb. And just a little flip. Just with your arm. Just nice and easy. Thing is, too, keep that rod tip where you're aiming. We're aiming for that cup. Try to keep it straight on that cup. Alright? And that's just the general motion of it. So we'll get that down first and see. Alright, go ahead and try it. There you go. That's not bad at all. Do another one. We'll get a good shot this way. Like I said, you're not trying to get in the cup. Come on. We ain't Denny Brower around here. Oh! Unless if you're Steph, then you just make it in the cup up. Alright, so that's the general motion right there. Super easy. And that's the whole thing, is just like keep it nice and easy. Especially to start with only 20 feet, you don't got to go crazy with it. Just super fluid motion. And the whole point of practicing this is just to get a good fluid motion. The same motion all the time. Okay? It doesn't necessarily mean you have to do it exactly like everyone else is doing, but get what works for you. Just with that same thing, that just flip it at wrist, just nice and easy, and just learning that motion so you know. That hit the cup. And the point of the cup is you don't have to hit that cup, okay? You don't have to make it in that cup every single time. No one's going to make it in that cup every single time. It's just, there's a dog in the way. That's Abby. She's dumb and blind. But you don't have to make it in that cup every single time. Here comes more dogs. Just get it close. The whole point is getting it right next to that cup. And this is just going to teach you that motion of doing it and give you that aim that you need. Here's Lola. Lola's! What you doing? And Sadie. These are the two crazy Boston Terriers. They're butt heads. Oh, did I make it?
No.
Over the dog?
Abby, move! Hey! Abby! You're too far.
Alright, now let's talk about how to get that bait to slide into the water. You don't want a big splash. Alright, your close quarters, just pitching into heavy cover where that bass is just sitting there under heavy cover, heavy sticks, heavy grass, whatever. You don't want to make a big splash and kind of spook them off, because really you make a nice light drop into that water and that bass doesn't even notice that it fell in. All of a sudden it just sees it in front of its face and it just reacts and hit it. That's really the great thing about this, is getting it in there nice and easy, and then that bass just reacts to it and they crush that bait. So, alright, we got our regular pitching technique. Alright, now you're just doing the same motion like we just talked about. Now this whole way, it's going to obviously make that bait splash a lot lighter anyway than like hucking a cast and into the water. But there's a way to make it go super easy, nice and silky, you know. So, okay, here we go. We got this here. Now, when you pitch it out, see when it was about to land? See where my thumb is? Let's show you again. So you're going out, you're following that bait. See where my thumb is? I barely ever take my thumb off that spool. I'm not going, you know, like that or anything. I'm keeping my thumb on that spool pretty much, and just kind of feeling the line as it goes through. Not squeezing it, not, you know, restricting that line. I'm keeping it there right under my thumb. So say you make a pitch, every pitch, like I said, you're not going to hit that cup every single time. So what it does is it gives you the chance, if you go and pitch it and you see, oh shit, it's way too far, you hit your thumb on that. Let's get a good shot. Actually, that would have been a perfect shot. I just landed it in the cup, just doing that, trying to.
You landed it in the cup?
Yeah. But, like, oh, it's too far. That's what I did, is I grabbed it with my thumb and stopped that bait from rolling. Okay? Let you get it in there. But also, what it does for letting it slide in there easier is I do it pretty much every time I pitch. Okay? I'm kind of looking to go a little further than my spot that I'm targeting, and then I feather my thumb onto it, and that makes it fall super soft. Okay? Like, you can pitch really hard. Like, let's go all the way to the rocks out there. So a harder pitch, but then still, it's more force going further. But you use your thumb to feather that bait down. So it's real simple, but also really complicated. I get it. Alright. Out, and then your thumb right where you want it to land. Okay? And what that does is that lets that bait just bloop in there so soft. So soft. That bass will never know it's coming. Steph's getting addicted. Just like I was when I learned this. It becomes so much fun. So, now, we're going to talk about how to get even further. Alright, 20 feet, that's not much, whatever. That's a good place to pitch anyway. And actually, I kind of like to stay 20, 30 feet away from the bass anyway when I'm doing this. But you can go even further. You can throw this thing out 50 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This yard's too short. But that's why we'll just do this. This ain't science. This is getting it close, man. Jesus.
And action.
Alright, so now the cuff's about 40 feet away. You know, let's just get you some more distance, another target to aim at, a little further out. So let's talk about getting further pitches. It's the exact same motion. You're not screwing around with anything, with any of this. Okay? People think they gotta to get out there further, like slingshot it and do crazy stuff like that. Really, all it is you're just moving this wrist faster. You know, the shorter it is, you can just do a nice little, woo, that's nice and gentle, you know. But it's further out there, you're doing further with your wrist. Further, faster with your wrist. Further, faster, same difference. That's what I'm trying to get at here. So you're just flipping it further. Well, I let go of that one late because, yeah.
Hey, no one would have known. I can't see.
There you go. Boom.
Ooh, that was close.
But that's what you're doing. Now, so it's all in the wrist. It's all in the, what was that, hips? Wrist, hips, same difference. But this one, it's all in the wrist. Okay? I also didn't talk about this. This is how it should go. When you got it down, you don't want your rod like up against your arm, because then you look like a caveman trying to beat a club or something. You look stupid. Okay? And also, you got nowhere for that rod to go. Like this. So, you want it behind on the backside, not inside. Inside is just super uncomfortable and your wrist will hate it. And also you have no control of this, so this makes you weak. On the outside of your hand, like that. How did I not say that? Should have said that earlier. Meh, whatever. Alright. But anyway, for further distance, you want to bomb that sucker out there. Just faster with your wrist. That's it. It's super simple. But the other thing you can do, to get more distance if you're going further out there, is watch your feet. Okay? A big thing is feet. Not in your upper body, not with your hips. Your feet. Okay? Wherever you're at. Now, it might be more difficult if you're standing up on a kayak. Obviously, you don't have a lot of room, but you can still do it. Is you kind of use your hips and you step. That's it. That'll give you more oomph. You just step. See? Use your whole sort of body into it. It doesn't have to be a freaking, powerhouse, hitting a home run. Swing. I almost made it in the cup there. It doesn't have to be that. It's just a nice little gentle step, and that gets your momentum kind of going with your wrist. But really, it's still just all in the wrist. It's just quicker. Oh, that was too far. I was trying to really show the wrist, even though you went that way with the camera, but I was really trying to just show the wrist on it.
Alright, good.
Yeah. Boom. Ah. See, and then you don't even show it. When it almost hits the cup, you don't even show it.
I don't know what you want me to do.
I need a new cameraman. Who wants to be a cameraman for RedBeardBassin?
Yeah, it might save our marriage.